Hello, 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 everyone. I don't know. Let me see. This is my first time going live on YouTube. There's a chat over here. I'll wait a couple of moments. I am not going to keep you all long this afternoon. I see I got on my brace. I had a muscle strain on Saturday, so I have been nursing these muscles. But for the replay, those that watching on replay, just say hello. If you are here, say hello. Tell me where you are watching from. Just coming on to do a recap of the last 30 days and then to tell you what we're doing, what's coming, what's forthcoming for Love You Studios Holistic Wellness and why it's important, right? And before I get into any of that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And if you do come back and watch on replay, just do hashtag replay. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you are interested in any of this. And we're going to go deeper. But I was, had a muscle strain, messing around, trying to clean up the office. And I am in my office. I just turned the other way because my desk is behind the laptop. So just in here cleaning up, needed to sort some documents and put them in files and get them filed away. And just turned, which way did I turn? To the right. And all of a sudden just pop, inflammation in the body that was created by something that I ate. I knew I didn't have any business eating it, but I ate it anyway. It was good going down, but now I'm paying for it. Won't do it again. So I've been nursing this all weekend. And how I treat my inflammation is with turmeric tea, turmeric and ginger and some lemon with some raw honey, and sipped on that. And then taking turmeric supplements, turmeric and black pepper in my tea as well. Even though my supplements come with the turmeric and black pepper together, I still include black pepper in the tea. And then I take about 4 of the capsules of the supplements. I do have raw turmeric, and I could make capsules for myself, but it's just easier for me to buy it already in capsule form. So that's what I used, and was doing ICE, the RICE, okay, which is rest, ice, and compression. And what's the E? What is the E? What's the E? I can't think of it right now. It literally slipped my mind. I'll think of it. Anyway, I was doing that all weekend yesterday, and then I started slowly stretching and, was still on the ice. I alternated the ice and then the heat and stretching. And so now I'm able to at least move around. Limited mobility because, of course, you don't want that muscle to spasm again and, tighten up. So that's why you see me sitting with this on around my waist. It helps to support my diaphragm, which, if you know anything about the body, helps to support all of these muscles here in this area. So now that I have that out the way, let's talk about what happened over the last 30 days. The fact that I was able to show up even when I wasn't feeling 100%. And I know I'm new to this. Many of you out there probably are not, but showing up 30 consecutive days. And I'll tell you a little bit about how I did that. And just being consistent, right? Being consistent. I've been planning this content for about we're in April. Probably I started in December because I thought, oh, I will do this in January. This will be my January. I'll do this 31 days in January of YouTube content. Just didn't get around to it. I'll do it in February. Didn't get around to it. Had some things going on in February. I'll do it in March. Did not get around to it until towards the latter part of March. So I am so glad that I did. And you know how you do something and you're like, why didn't I do this like 10 years ago? Right? Started it, and because you don't see immediate results or you don't even understand the numbers that you're seeing, then you just quit. So I've learned some things about that, about showing up no matter what. As you all will notice, none of my videos are edited. I just don't have time to edit them. I don't have time. It's not my expertise. So you're going to get what comes out at the time that it comes out. Now I have started over my recordings. I have started them over up to, I think, 5 times. And even my thumbnails, when I'm taking my pictures, and after that I'm like, this is what the folks is gonna get. Okay, this is Chantel raw. It is what it is. And yes, I was reading off of the scripts because I did not want to miss anything. And oftentimes when I'm not using my scripts, I'll forget something completely. Or if I use, you were taught in college, you'll jot down a word or a phrase and you're supposed to remember what that child. Let me tell you, I write poetry and I have not memorized even one of my own poems. Now I know my poems when I hear them, but I haven't memorized them. I'm just saying. That's just not my forte. So scripting works for me, but I was looking at a video, I think day 28, and I was cracking up because I said, girl, why you sound like a whole robot? Well, what I've also learned is that my strength is really being in front of people. Speaking into a camera is something altogether different, right? Because you don't have the energy of people, that's talking. And I've gone live on Facebook, and I've had some people show up on Facebook, but it is different. It's a different feel when you're speaking into a camera and you can't hear people, you don't get the same energy from people. And also when you're talking to the camera and you're trying to watch the screen to see who's responding, so you're trying to look at the chats and respond to that. It's a whole thing. Okay. So it is not necessarily my forte, but I'm willing to work on it. And I am working on it because guess what? I'm doing another 30 days. Okay. Let's talk about what we covered in the last 30 days. I introduced my name, and I'll reintroduce myself again. My name is Chantel with Love You Studios, and there's a continuation, Holistic Wellness Center. I was known as Love You Studios only, but now we are officially Love You Studios Holistic Wellness Center. I am so proud of that because it really is an expansion on what I was already doing and what is to come, right? I have a hashtag that says it's deeper than skin. For me, in my practice, from 2003 when I graduated from Heritage College in Denver, Colorado, with my degree in massage therapy and a focus on Chinese medicine, I've always known that it's deeper than skin, okay? Deeper than skin, deeper than muscle. Skin was not my focus back then. But as I moved into aesthetics and wanted to really understand more about skin and then just the broad aspect of aesthetics overall, right? When I went to school, I already had some questions and I was already doing some things, but I wanted to understand more of what that was about. So I went to school for aesthetics and I said, this is deeper than skin. It's always been deeper than skin. Okay. And then add the component of herbalist. I deal with things holistically as a whole person. A lot of that has come from me just being a mother, right? Giving birth. And you're like, well, how in the world does that? Because that's a whole event. Okay. It is a whole person, a whole event. Your body goes through so much. And so going through that, but also reflecting on my own event, reflecting on some friends that I actually helped go through the birthing process, right? And then also sitting with the first time ever with a friend of mine whose brother transitioned from time, this realm, back into eternity. Okay. And actually being there for that. And then sitting with my maternal grandfather as he transitioned. So those things will cause you to reflect on the entire person and what that means for you as a practitioner, as a healer. Also, when you go back and listen to the videos, you will find out that I also went through a season where I was not well. No one could figure it out. And I ended up having a 2 centimeter tumor on my spine. And so going through that process, trying to understand how that even happened, a 2 centimeter on my spine. And the surgeon that did the surgery said it was actually the nerves were all through that little tiny 2 centimeter tumor on my spine. So they had to cut that out and not cut the nerves that were encased in that tumor. So it causes you to reflect. And then I also believe that I'm a person and that people in, you all are filled with purpose. So it causes you to really hone in. It's kind of like these guardrails that are kind of like, okay, you've gone through this, all this, all this, all this, and it's leading you down this path. And then here you are. You are walking in your purpose. Oftentimes we're walking in our purpose, even when we don't understand it. Okay. So I said that to say, I've been on this journey and going through from the methodologies, the trademark that has been filed. So let's talk about what we've talked about past 30 days. We talked about, I did a demonstration of a cleansing demonstration with the cleansing balms. And I talked about why you want to choose cleansing balms versus other types of cleanser for your skin. This channel is focused, our primary focus is on women who look like me. Okay? Women who look like me. That's our primary focus. I should have did this side. This is my better side, huh? What y'all think? So that is my primary focus. So I talked about why for our skin type and for this particular community, also the menopause and perimenopause community. Now I talk about all the seasons, right? Even when you are still menstruating, but all of these things culminated together make up the community that I am speaking to, those that can hear my voice and will understand. So we went from the demonstration, the cleansing balm, the toner, the facial oils, and then I got into we did herbs, right? We featured different herbs, and we talked about Breathe Again. Breathe Again is the cessation program, okay? The smoking cessation program. The first iteration or the first release is for Black men in our community. There's a reason for that. If you want to know what that reason is, go watch the video. Okay? Take a look at it. We talked about skin signals. Skin signals is my proprietary methodology for understanding what is happening on the surface of your skin as it relates to an organ or a system within the body. Okay. Your skin is the largest organ on your body. You need to understand what is going on with it. It is great if we can catch this stuff before because the body talks. Whoop. That leads me into body signals, which is coming in the next 30 days. Okay. So we talked about that. We talked about many herbs, their uses. And when we talk about skin signals, I also released an ebook, okay, that where you can go to our website. You can go to our website and you can take the skin assessment. When you take the skin assessment, then it's going to give you your own personal feedback of what's going on with you, as well as the free ebook that you can download and use as resource. Okay? So that is skin signals. We covered that. We also covered, I did tell you a little bit about where we are going, but we covered those items, and then I kept going deeper each week, right? 4 weeks in a month. So over 30 days, I gave you a lot of information, gave you education, no fluff, all information. In the next 30 days, okay, I'm going to give you some more information. This first 2 weeks, I think it's the first 2 weeks, I'm digging in on melanin. I am digging in to the melanin. So if you're interested in the chemistry behind melanin, and I'm not even going super deep, but I'm going to go deep enough where I'm giving you information that you are not just going to go and just find on Google. That's my goal. I don't ever want to give you something that is easily searched on Google that you can search yourself. Just common information. I do my best to give you information that you are not getting elsewhere. And that is what makes Love You Studios Holistic Wellness Center different. I am connecting all of these things. I am going to introduce you, let me grab it, to more about Beauty from the Root. Okay? Beauty from the Root is our proprietary text. Why do I need a text? Why do we have text, y'all? Because we teaching something formally, child, formally. So excited. Teaching for what's coming. We'll be transitioning to the Dallas, Texas area. And I'm really excited about that. Not only because that is, I know that's where I'm supposed to transition to next, but also because, my husband and I both have family there. Now, he's from Dallas. I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, but lived in the Dallas area, right? Not really. I stayed like 35 miles south of Dallas, but most people don't know that small city, but they do know Dallas. So I just say Dallas to keep it simple, stupid. Okay. But lived there for about 7.5 years. Before that, I stayed in the Austin, Texas area for 2 years. And it's home. And I feel like it's home, or I feel more at home there because of the roots that we have there, right? My grandmother and her family, my maternal grandmother and her family are all from Fort Worth, Texas. Okay? So we have some roots there in Texas, and I'm excited to get back. I'm excited about building in the community there. We will be there in May so that I can look at some spaces, and I'm navigating, some things. And I just know if I have the vision, I'm supposed to walk in that thing. And as I walk into the vision, then everything else will be established. That's just it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. It shall be established. So, let me see, what else do we have going on? Oh, okay. So we're going to talk about melanin. I'm going to give you an introduction of beauty from the root and talk to you about, let's talk about how it was navigating here. I lean heavily because, paid um, assistants are just not, I'm not at that level just yet. So what I did is I've had all of this information, this cumulative information written down, a lot of stuff in Word and typed on files. And so what I did was upload all of this information into my AI program, and so that it can organize everything for me. It organized everything for me. And then, of course, I go back and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't need that. That's old. That's old. Yeah, I don't need that. Do this, tighten it up, and created some content that is propelling, right? It propels me. It keeps me organized. It keeps me focused. It helps my audience to know and understand where we are headed. And where we are headed is going deeper into aesthetics, massage therapy. We're talking melanin. We're talking skin signals. I will introduce body signals, more herbal medicine and plants, and a lot of history. Okay? Because we need to know where we came from, what we've walked through in order to get a clear vision for where we are going. I'm excited. And my theme of the year is vision in color. And I'll tell you that my hand have had to do a lot of work in order to get the foundation to where it is solid, no sinking sand. So it has been a tremendous amount of work. It will be worth it. Oftentimes when you're doing all of that work behind the scenes, you don't see the return, but once the foundation is built, then you won't sink, and you'll be able to see the return of all of your hard work. So thank you for those that have hung in there with me. The next 30 days are going to be amazing. Join us here if you are interested. If this is not for you, please share, because someone else will need the information. We talked, the smokable herbs and the teas. I almost forgot. Releasing a spring and summer tea line. So I'll be releasing that over the next week or so. And then we will take a break and go on vacation. I'll still be out here posting documents, posting information, and just staying plugged in. But to be posting continual information, it was a lot of work when you always just don't have the energy to do it. So I did record sometimes in bulk and have my information. I did, with my standard script where I had paste and copy. So making sure that the places where the website and the other social media things needed to be updated, was able to update those. What I have to get better at is posting these shorts, getting these shorts posted and uploaded, getting everything up on LinkedIn. But I have a lot going on, a lot of great things going on, proposals to finish and get those over to some companies for the wellness programs at corporations. And we're doing our thing. We're shaking and moving and grooving and doing our thing over here. So thank you for hanging out with me. Again, on the replay, #replay, leave your comment. If you have any other questions, you can always reach me on all social media platforms at Love You Studios. Until next time, you all take care. This is Chantel with Love You Studios Holistic Wellness. Take care. See you soon.